in our own houses, and two, trying to find affordable houses and keep them affordable, and the cost of the construction, this is nuts. But our state legislators, our senator and our assemblywoman need to stand up and say, hey, wait a second. Our constituents can't deal with this. We need to bring some legislative changes to it. So I don't know how the route we would take, Mr. Mitchell, but I personally would like us to see what we can do and protest this, because this is, to me, this is simply not acceptable. This is why, I started getting the phone calls right away when applications were coming in, and your office was saying, sorry, you can't do that anymore. My phone was ringing, and I understand why, and that's why I asked this presentation to be made today, because folks aren't aware this hasn't hit. When it hit, I mean, it's hit, but it hasn't really come to light to a lot of people. When it starts coming to light, this is nuts. I mean, I can have other adjectives I can throw out, but that's probably the most polite one. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Supervisor Pinches.
Yeah, well, first of all, this is not just a Mendocino County issue. First of all, most of our redwood lumber that we grow and produce in this county is sold in California. Not necessarily Mendocino County, but sold in California. I'm surprised that the California Redwood Association hasn't been raising hell about this, but Supervisor Delbar is exactly right. Somebody's got to at some point in time say, hey, this is wrong, this is bad. We were talking a little bit this morning about taking some money from our economic development. This issue is huge. I mean, basically with the Douglas fir market on its butt, that's the only lumber market we have is redwood. And this California rule, law, regulation, whenever you proposed by some staff person, not even an elected official, I mean, the implications of this are huge. I mean, it's got the possibility of devastating our whole redwood forests. I mean, even a lot of our conservation easements that are planning on logging 30 years from now, basically will eliminate that. It's something that, this is a huge issue that's kind of just got snuck under the radar screen, and it needs to be, we need to tell somebody that this is not acceptable. And maybe we're not beating up on you, Chris, or anything, but this is I realize you're just trying to pass on the word, but we need to do something too, because it's got huge economic impacts. I mean, think about this. If you was a forest land redwood producer of forest land in Mendocino County, why would you want to pay taxes and grow more redwood trees, knowing that California put in place a law that you can't use that product in building materials? So are you going to look for the future of 30 years down the line, or these conservation groups that have bought thousands of acres of redwood timberland thinking, well, yeah, we'll let them grow for 30 years and we'll sell the product? There's no selling of the product if this goes through. So it's not, it's a bigger issue. I'm surprised that the state never even debated the issue, just slid through. I mean, but it's huge.
If I could, there are some redwood products that have been approved. Industry's catching up to this requirement of the testing of their products. We have, for instance, Louisiana Pacific has several products that are approved. Roseburg Forest Products has a Breckenridge siding, I believe, which is redwood. Roseburg Forest Products has a Douglas fir siding that has met this criteria. Also, a solid wood redwood siding and western red cedar and several others have been approved. It's just a matter of the industry getting their products tested and meeting the testing standards. For instance, windows, if we take windows, there's not have been any window manufacturers that have tested windows to meet the 20-minute criteria. They have just simply automatically met it by adding a tempered pane in their dual pane window. There's event companies that are getting vents that are resistant to fire, embers, and firebrand and such. So industry is going to catch up, and I think you're going to see the redwood Association, Lumber Association catch up, get their products tested, and they will be there eventually. Just unfortunately, it's seems to be late in getting to industry what the requirement was. But there are several products out there that have been tested and approved.
Yeah, but maybe
Sure,
my
go ahead.
point was a little bit missed here. You know, the redwood forest and the redwood market we have is kind of a niche industry. I can understand why certain companies that can get their fir siding approved or their cedar siding approved probably think that this is, you know, maybe redwood products may be a little bit tougher. You know, I mean, you can take fir treated posts and put all kinds of chemicals in it, and they'll say, well, it lasts as good as a redwood post, although I don't think they do. But I just worry that this is, it's kind of an attack, in my opinion. I view it just basically upon the redwood industry, and maybe it's because they're almost a non-existent lobbying group, or maybe because there's a lot of folks in Sacramento would just soon not see a redwood tree ever cut. But I think we need to stand up for our niche industry, and we take a lot of pride in our ability to grow redwood trees and harvest them and use them for building products. And to put redwood at another market disadvantage, I don't think is good for the future of Mendocino County. And it's something we need to really take serious.
Okay, I have a couple concerns if none of the other supervisors do. Chris, this is, let me clarify, this is the law. We're not being asked to adopt these things or negotiate or any of that. This is the law, right, for 2007 building code. I knew the wildland urban interface specifications were coming down the pike, but where did and who pushed these other amendments? Snow loads, soils reports, seismic zones, the special inspections for placement of fill and compaction. Who are these groups, and where were the debates held, and who in the hell compiled this and rammed it down our throat? That's my main question.
The International Code Council, which have held meetings all over United States, have developed the codes.
Okay,
And
well,
then once again, it goes back to the Building Standards Commission and the adoption of those codes.
Well, I see some contradictions. You know, here we're looking for non-combustible siding for fires, but under private garages and carports, we've reduced the sheetrock from 5/8 to 1/2 inch. Well, the whole purpose of that is to prevent extension of fires from garages into the building. That's a reduction. That's ludicrous. Johnny brought up reduction of allowable doors, enclosures under stairwells. Again, a reduction in sheetrock from 5/8 to 1/2 inch. It just, I don't know. I'm having a hard time swallowing this, as it looks like special interests just ruled the day here. Attic space openings reduced from 22 by 30 to 20 by 30. What did that gain? 2 inches? You know,
It keeps me out.
If I could answer your question there, the International Code Council was 3 code bodies that come together, one being BOCA from northeastern United States, the other one being SBCCI, which is the Southern Building Code Congress, and ICBO, which was what we have had in the past here, the International Conference of Building Officials. Those 3 code